First of all, good morning. I had to come on here because something happened this past Friday, and I had wanted to make this recording then, but I have been busy and everything. So, I have a coworker who is still legally married. And she has been separated from her husband for over 5 years now. They have 2 children together. They have 2 grandchildren with one of their children, one of their adult children. They're adult children, mind you. And so, over the past 5 years, they have been in communication in regards to the children, in regards to whatever other little communication that they're having. Apparently, in this communication, he is still saying things and putting things in her ear that's giving her hope, even though in these past 5 years he has been with other women, to the point where one of the women that he has been with was someone that they were friends with. And she's just shared so much with me because she has no one to talk to. And to the point where with this one person that she thought was their friend came in one day to their home and said, so-and-so, it's time to go. He had his stuff already packed. So apparently he was anticipating this and walked out the door with this other woman. Now, she was devastated, of course, because she, I guess, never suspected that he was seeing this woman, because this woman would come over and have conversations with her about things that were going on. She just never picked up on it. And I could say that I can relate to that. I could definitely say that I can relate to that. Fast forward late last week. So apparently something went on between the 2 of them where she has been an emotional wreck for a couple of days. I'm not sure exactly what was said, but no, I don't know exactly what he said to her, but apparently she has had conversation with the current chick he's messing around with, to where he said to the current chick, and she only knows this because she had conversation with her, that he wants nothing to do with her. Nothing to do with my coworker. Nothing. She's devastated because I guess in their conversations, he has said something other than that to her. She's upset, because she doesn't want to live without him. And I'm just like, honey, you've been living without him all this time. The other problem is that the oldest child has moved out and moved to another city with their family. And she was sharing with me some other things that had happened when this oldest child moved out with his current girlfriend before they had children. And it's just, yeah. So I'm saying that to say this. Like I said, she reminds me of myself because apparently she has never been alone. That she doesn't know how to be by herself. Now, I will say that was me. Because when I got married, I left from my parents' home to the home with my ex-husband. And then when he decided to leave, because he left me, which, as you all know, was a blessing in disguise, I had to learn to be on my own, which I had never been on my own for a long time. I'd never been on my own, period, to the point where I was doing, what she was doing, but, trying to have him to come help with the girls, having him to, do certain things for me, where he literally pushed me away to where I'm like, okay, I have to figure this out on my own. And I did. Now, she is of a different culture. And I know for us as black people and black women especially, we're taught to be independent. Because sometimes in life, things don't work out the way that we planned it. And where we are left alone, because of circumstances. And I'll just say it as that. Now, I don't know if in other cultures they are taught that. Apparently, with what she's experienced, that's not been her way. And with her being of a certain faith, she feels as if divorce is not an option. Even though I explained to her that there is a verse in Matthew that says that if a spouse has been unfaithful, that gives you the right for divorce. That where she doesn't need to feel as if it is a sin to go ahead and file this paperwork. I also talked to her about, because in these past 5 years, I guess, like I said, I'm not sure exactly what good things he's saying in her ears that's giving her hope to where she still feels emotionally attached to this man. And I told her, I said, there will be a point where you're not going to feel attached and you're going to be okay to let go. But the thing is, she wants to let go to have somebody else there. Now, she has mentioned to me that she has had a friend that was just a friend, someone she hung out with. But according to her, outside of the youngest child, who apparently, I don't know what the relationship is, she's making it sound as if she has no friends, no family, nobody, and she doesn't know how to be alone. That is something, and I don't know if a lot of women experience it. I know that I did, because I never knew how to be alone. Even in breakups, I would always have at least a male friend there to talk to, because, I got a lot of wisdom from my male friends, and even now with me allowing someone else into my life was a challenge, because even though I was in a 6-year, or no, not a challenge, but living with someone. Because even though I was in a relationship for 6.5 years, I never lived with another person outside of my girls. I never lived with another person, and another man at that. Yeah, that was a challenge, a true challenge. But I say that to say this: we as women, and I have taught my girls this, I wanted them to be and live independently, even if it's away from home at school. Like, both of them have had that experience. Yes, they have come home to live, and we've all lived together, but to the point where that sense of independence that they had, oh my God, I'm having a deja vu moment. I'm so sorry. The independence that they have would not cause them to want to stay for long. Even with my youngest one, I know she's not going to want to stay with her father for a long time because she's been independent and she lives independently where she doesn't have to she could come and go as she pleases. But I think at a certain age we should all be able to be independent. She is older than me, but it sounds as if she's never been on her own. Now, mind you, she lives with her children, with a son, and a couple of roommates. So she's physically not alone. Emotionally, she is alone because of whatever situation is going on in the home. And I feel really bad for her because of the way that I see that she reacts to this estranged husband. Because I don't like the fact that he's feeding this shit to. And why do I care? Why the fuck do I care? Only because it's affecting her at work. And not that our work is a lot, that it's tedious or anything like that, but it's affecting her at work. And I hate seeing people cry. And it's making me mad that she's feeling this way. And, I just told her, she needs to talk to someone. And, I don't know who that someone is, if it needs to be a spiritual counselor, because I recommended someone, or if it needs to be secular. So when I was going through my divorce, my pastor, who also went through a divorce, was like, don't get spiritual counseling. Because in spiritual counseling, come on, y'all, let's go. What they normally do is bring things from the Bible when you're going through a divorce to try and encourage you to stay, when sometimes it's just you're done. Oh, it was the keys in my pocket. Sometimes you're just done. And so I did find a secular counselor because I needed to hear what that person said. But at this point, she needs someone to talk to. Women, we can't be... I know it's difficult when you've been with someone for an extremely long time. To see yourself without that person is really hard. One of the things my pastor said to me was that divorce is like death. You have to mourn the death of the relationship, of what you thought it was going to be. And that you have to go through the process. You have to. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. But you have to mourn it like a death. Because that is exactly what it is. It's the death of a relationship. And, we as women, we try to hold on to what we can. But sometimes it's not worth holding on to. And I think about her, and I just don't like the state she's in. And I hope that the person I suggested that she reach out to, that she reaches out to them, because she needs to be able to move on emotionally. And I'm going to say it's going to be difficult for her, because I see each and every time when she has had conversations with him, she talks to the estranged husband on behalf of her adult children, which I think she does it because they don't have relationship with the father. I know for myself, when my children became legal, I encouraged them to have conversations with their fathers. Because the thing is, my experience with my oldest, when I would say things that she would want me to tell her, and this was before she became legal, he would say, oh no, you're putting those words into her mouth, and this, and this. So I had to tell her, you need to talk to your dad, because he's not believing what I'm saying to him from you. To the point where when she was saying it, he's like, oh, that is really her. But then of course I went through the thing of, oh, you're feeding this to her. No, I didn't. I didn't have to, because at that point she was realizing what was going on and what was not going on. So at this point, I would feel that my coworker needs to, and I told her, stop relaying things from your children to their father. They're gonna have to step up, because when you talk to him, it's making you feel a certain kind of way, and it's not fair that he's doing this, because it's just not. I know that I may not be talking to majority of the people who may be listening to this, because like I said, in our culture, we are taught to be independent. Even in marriage and in a relationship, we still have to be independent of our significant others. You know, we still have to have our own life. We still have to have our own person. But it does not separate who we are from our significant others. But when it comes to the point of where it is the end, then it might make it a little bit easier for us to separate ourselves when we know it is the end. Now, I will say she knows it is the end, but she has not separated herself because she's never been independent. And that's why she says, even though they've not been together for over 5 years, she's afraid of not having him in her life, which to me makes no sense. Because the thing is, even in divorce, depending on your relationship with your ex, or even in a relationship, depending on that relationship, they may still be in your life in whatever capacity it is. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how it ends. If it's good, then you're having conversation. You know, hopefully the conversation does not lead to, oh, well, you know, I miss you, this, and this. I wish this, I wish that. Or you're just cordial, like it is with my ex-husband and I. We're cordial. If it has nothing to do with our child, we don't have those discussions. I know a couple of times in our 12 years since we divorced, he tried to get personal, and I'm like, I don't need to know that, because I don't, you know. And at this point, with our child about to turn 20, you know, since she's been 18, my conversations have been with her. If I need to have a conversation with her father, then I will have a conversation with her father in regards to her. But other than that, I don't need to do that anymore. I just don't. So send out good energy, good light, positive thoughts to my coworker. And women, if you are in that position, you know, just know that being alone is okay. Don't wallow in your aloneness. Being lonely, like my pastor said, is like the ocean. It comes in like the tide and it goes back out, and it passes. It passes. You know, it puts you in a moment, because I had those things. You know, when I was going through my divorce, and even before I got into this current relationship. it would pass, you know, and I would feel lonely. And then it would go away. And then I'd be okay. And that's really what it is. It's a passing thing. And we have to be okay with being alone or even lonely. Because it's not going to last. It's not going to last. So that's all I had to say for this. You know, like I said, I just don't like the way he's making her feel. You know, she's constantly in tears, and it's just a fucking mess. And if I ever saw this man, I would probably choke him out just on GP, because motherfucker, you making work difficult for us, for her, which is making work difficult for me. Yeah, I choke you out on GP. Yeah. But anyway, I'm about to go into my old place because there's some things I got to get. And like I said, the video is coming of the new place. We're making it a home. We just got our little dinette set, which is just weird, but it's workable. It's going to be workable. But the place is lovely. I love the location. I am 15 minutes away from work, which is saving me money on gas, which is outrageous, as you all know. But anyway, thank you for listening. This is your sister Shy Soul. Have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.